Alright, what's up guys? Today I'm going to be going over all the new Warlock exotic changes in Update 2.0 and be speaking about what's different, how much better they got, and when to use them in the future, and if I think I will be using them in the future, and basically just overall giving my opinion if the changes are good and if they're actually good exotics now and all that good stuff. So first one I want to talk about is the Skull of Dire Ahamkara, which is the one where when you throw a Nova Bomb and you get kills with Nova Bomb, it gives you super energy back, and they buffed it across the board for all kills, then also increased it even more for major kills and things like that, and ultras and bosses. So this exotic works extremely well with top tree now, and it still works really well on bottom tree, but with top tree bloom, it combos very, very well, as you'll see here in a second. But right here, I go ahead and kill roughly 5 or 6 acolytes, and I get 70, maybe 75% my super back, as you saw right there, just off 6 red bar kills. But then if I throw it at this ultra major boss, I get 50% instantly. Then I went ahead and tested it also on different majors, and you'll see different amounts of energy given back on different types of majors. So example, this guy is a very, very weak major, and I only got like 10-15%. So the stronger the major or the ultra, the more energy you will get back on killing them. But when you chain this scene in strikes, EP, and any activity like that where there's a lot of majors, a lot of low tier ads all in big groups, especially strikes, this scene actually is insane. As you see right here, I just chuck the Nova Bomb, get my super back instantly, go ahead and chuck another one, and kill everything else and get it back again. So in strikes and EP and things like that, you can literally chain the scene and have infinite Nova Bombs basically forever as long as you use it correctly. And as you see here, going into the boss, once again, I still have my Nova Bomb. I already used it twice in a row and still have it. The fact that you can do things like this just makes top tree Voidwalker so much more usable compared to Devour, and you'll probably see me running this combo a lot going forward, especially in strikes and things like that. In a way, it's basically Orpheus Rig but for Warlock on Nova Bomb. So with this Nova Bomb buff comboed with the fact that top tree grenades, when you charge them, does not take your super energy, means top tree is actually a very legit subclass now, and you'll see me using it. Next up on the list are the Transversive Steps, which are the exotics that make you sprint faster, also give you more mobility, and also reload your weapons when you run for a short period of time, and they basically buffed both parts of that thing. It says they have more mobility, which we'll test here in a second, as you see right here, then also how they reload it was changed also. So one thing I'm going to do is, first with the exotics on and 1 mobility, I'm going to walk from this corner to the other corner and see how long it takes, both with the exotic, then without the exotic on, and both times I will have 1 mobility to keep that the same, but the new buff says it has extra mobility built into it. So as you saw right there, it took 3.78 seconds. Now I'm going to go ahead and take off the boots, and now I'm going to go ahead and change a piece of armor to make sure I still have 1 mobility, so that's the same. So we're only testing the built-in mobility on the boots, not the actual stat. As you see right here, once again, walking from corner to corner, we'll see what happens. And it was actually faster, so that clearly is not a thing. There is no extra built-in mobility on the exotics. But the other thing it does is it reloads after you sprint for a short period of time, as you saw right there. But the thing that does now compared to before, it does it for all weapons, not just energy. Then it also reloads the entire mag, not just a portion. So as you see, I can go ahead and reload my Midnight Coup, then swap. But now it doesn't reload that right away. You have to re-trigger your sprinting animation. So what I like to do is slide, as you see right here, which resets my sprint, and it works perfectly fine. Now I'm gonna go ahead and test how long the perk actually takes to proc from when you first start sprinting, and it's just under 1.5 seconds, so that's actually very, very quick. I also went ahead and tested to see if I can proc kill clip after getting a kill by sprinting and making that reload. As you see, that does not work, which they changed with the dodge in the game, which I'd like to see them do that with other things like this also. But overall, these exotics are extremely good for just general gameplay. They are basically my go-to exotics for whenever I'm just running strikes, especially speedrunning. Obviously in speedrunning, they're amazing. The fact that you can sprint faster, then also not have to reload, saves a lot of time all over the place. But even for general gameplay and PvP, it's very, very nice just being able to run faster, then also not have to worry about reloading. For example, in PvP, you pick up a shotgun shell from a dead body, and you don't even have to reload. You can just sprint to the next target, and by the time you get there, you'll be ready to go. And it's just a really, really good rotation, and it cuts off a lot of time that you waste from reloading your gun constantly. Next on the list is Winter's Guile, where when you get a melee kill, it increases your melee damage for a short period of time. And basically what they changed, it says they tuned damage and duration per stack to be more consistent. So we're gonna go ahead and find out what that exactly means, because that basically tells us nothing of what actually changed. So as you see, I'm gonna go ahead and test all 5 stacks of Winter's Guile, which it stacks up to 5 times if you didn't know. And as you see, I'm slow-moing it so we can see all the numbers as we go. I'll put all the numbers up at the end, but as you see, it does a lot more damage as you go. So here's the numbers per stack, and now here is the buffs per stack, and at times 5, it's a 7.5x modifier to the regular melee damage, which is how it's always been, but the numbers in between seem to be more evenly spaced out and more linear compared to how they were before. Before, they were more exponential. So basically that's the only difference I see so far, and the timer seems to be the same also. As you see here, it's 4 seconds every time, which is what it was before, so I don't know what they did there. Unless I'm missing something, I don't think anything changed. But what I'm showing right here is that you can get a melee headshot by aiming above their body, and it does 2x damage. So in total, you can have a 15x buff, which is 36,000 damage, as you saw in those clips. And just to give you a comparison of how much damage that actually is to these ads, with Whisper with box breathing procced, I hit 45,000, so almost a melee does just under 10,000 less damage than that, which is actually a lot of damage per melee. Winter's Guile paired with Devourer is easily one of the best combos in the entire game, and it's been like that forever. I made a video about it when the game first came out, and it's still as crazy as it ever was. It's not been nerfed. Hasn't been necessarily buffed, but it's still as good as it's always been. I think a lot of people forget about it. I personally don't use it that often, but the things you can do with Devour and Winter's Guile are actually insane just for using your melee only. Next on the list is the Nezarec Sin, and the change they made was increased duration of the perk, then also rapid kills extend the duration up to 20 seconds. So we're then go ahead and see what that actually means. As you see, when I get a kill, I only get 2 seconds compared to a lot more before, but when you get rapid kills, it goes up more and more exponentially. And another thing about this perk I noticed is as you get more and more kills, it doesn't give you less and less time like it did before. Eventually, once you got like more than 10 kills, you'd start getting like half a second, even lower than that, and eventually you'd get no time added. But now you can keep adding time forever. It's not limited in any way. Now I'm going to go ahead and test the difference between the base recharge time of my abilities and with the perk procced. So once I swapped my subclasses, I started the timer and waited for them to all come back. And as you see, I have a melee mod, so just ignore that, but the base recharge rate was 82.3 seconds in total for my grenade and rift, and it would be the same for my melee ability if I did not have a mod. Now doing the same thing, but now this time getting void kills with the helmet on the entire time as quickly as I could. We're going to see how long it takes now with the perk at all times procced. And as you see, the grenade is actually moving faster than the rift. Obviously the melee is moving the fastest because I have a mod on it, but the class ability charges slower than the other two abilities, which is something to note. But the grenade came back in 21.793 seconds, which is a lot faster, precisely 3.78 times faster, which is a very, very noticeable chunk faster. Overall, I don't see myself using this helmet that often compared to something like Crown of Tempest. It's kind of overshadowed by the fact that Crown of Tempest not only gives you your abilities back, it does more things on top of that. And there's kind of things like that for all Warlock subclasses, so I don't really see a reason to use this helmet that often. Next up on the list is Eye of Another World, which the only change was increase the general recharge rate of all of your abilities, more so than they already were. So we're going to go ahead and test what they actually changed with this helmet. So doing the same thing I did before, I'm going to go ahead and change my subclass and start the timer right then to see how long it takes. First without the exotic on, and as you see, start the timer right there. Go ahead and skip forward, and it took 82.3 seconds, the same as last time, which would make sense. And this time, obviously, I don't have a mod for the Dawnblade subclass. Now, doing the same thing with the exotic on, and seeing how much faster it is now. Once again, skipping forward. It now takes 54.8 seconds, which is 1.5x faster, which is not very good at all. It's honestly useless. So to recap a few things, Skull of Dire Ahamkara is the one I'm looking forward to the most, with the fact that you can basically have infinite Nova Bombs as long as you use them correctly on top tree, and the fact that the grenade on top tree is better now. Everything about that combo is very, very enticing to me. Then another one I'm looking forward to using a lot, especially in speedruns, is the Transversive Steps. The fact that you can reload your entire mag in 1.5 seconds for all 3 of your weapons is very, very, very good, and I can see myself using it all the time. Although Nezarec Sin got a really good buff in terms of how to keep the perk procced at all times, they did not increase the recharge rate of the perk or the way it stacks or anything like that, so in my eyes, it's still not that great. Then things like the Eye of the Other World is overall terrible. Then Winter's Guile is still a very, very good combo when paired with Devour, and you can do a lot of crazy things, so that is still a very, very good combo. Anyways, let me know what you think about all these changes and which ones you're the most excited for. Thanks for watching. Catch you guys next time.